Coach, could you maybe start us with more of a recap thought of last year and then how it looks this year? I know you won your 6th regular season conference title, but talk to us a little bit about that and then your hopes for this coming year.
I would say the team is extremely excited to obviously bring another conference championship, but not finishing the way all the way through of nationals was something that kept with the team tremendously. We have the utmost talented team, but it was just putting it together. And crucial moments against certain teams made it a little bit difficult, but returning a lot of the players, we did lose Kaylee Rector, Bree Brown, and Nevna Dragovic, but players coming in are key roles, and they're ready to step up to the plate. And I would say a different mindset this year. And we're a strong-knit family and really close to working together, so I'm excited to see what this team can produce this year.
What kind of different mindset would you say you're talking about?
I would say before last year, we were like, okay, we're going to win conference champion, we're going to go here. It was like we were confirming it rather than working towards it. So we expected it, it didn't happen, and we were shocked. So now we're working towards it. We have goals set and a plan in order to get to where we need to, taking it one match, one day at a time, rather than this is what we can do because it was done before. So.
And Toya, this group has in practice, everything as a strength kind of shown itself. What is it that this group is good at?
Oh, I would say our passing, our serve receive is very consistent and strong. And, it's tough to say that with almost every single one on our lineup. I would say it's pretty consistent with our serve receive. We have, again, strong attacks at the net, and I think it helped us tremendously to run our offense with the control we have from the passing. So just coming in, we're passing about 2-3, 2-4 as a team, which is almost close to being good every single time. So I think that's going to help us keep our flow on the court.
Was there an area like that, a specific thing on the court that last year was a little bit of a struggle?
Well, I would say that was at a moment, but more than anything, I believe it was our blocking. We didn't have that mindset of grabbing the ball, being aggressive at the net, and we do mini drills now that's focused only on blocking, getting touches, where we've improved tremendously on that. And so the defense side, I would say, has caught up with our offensive strength and our ball control. So we've really keyed on that the past couple of weeks.
Those 3 you mentioned that you lost last year, are those the only 3 that you lost from last year's roster?
Right.
Okay. And did those 3, did they all start?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So quite a few, relatively large group to replace in the starting lineup, and who have kind of moved into those roles in the starting lineup for you?
Well, with incoming recruits that we have, for example, Jenna Lougheed and Kelsey Ross is a lefty, 5'11", similar to Bree. And so she can run the same things that Bree's done before to keep us strong on that aspect. We've brought Willow into the right side more, who's returning sophomore, brings a lot of power and strength in the blocking. So I believe we've had players come in that can do a great job, but had a great opportunity to watch the players who graduated to see what they need to do in order to keep that position strong.
Mm-hmm. So Naomi and Chelsea, in the practice so far leading up to the season, what is kind of the feeling among this group? What does this team seem like?
I feel like everyone's pretty hungry. We do have a lot of returners, and like we said, last year was a big learning year. So we learned our lesson with what we need to do, and since day one getting on the court, we know what we have to do and we know what we want, and we're just hungry to win and get to the final thing, nationals. So that's it.
And since we returned back to Liston, we've all just came together. We have 4 new incoming players, and from day one of practice, it didn't even feel like it. And I think that's part of the team bonding we did before we started practice, and during our first 2 weeks, we just came together really good as a team. It didn't seem like these 4 new players stood out. We were just there together, and they just filled in the spots really good.
Mm-hmm. Last year, when you guys did get put out before nationals, it was a disappointment. And is that something you two specifically, do you really use that to motivate you, or do you just try to put that in the past?
I mean, what's in the past is in the past, so there's nothing we could do about it, but I would say I use it just for this year, just as a motivation of what you don't want to go through again. You don't want to feel that feeling, but I don't want to like think about it all the time because it's a new year, it's a new team, but it definitely helps with motivation.
It does. I think we just need to take each step as we go, like win the conference tournament, and then think about nationals. Like, I think that was a big problem last year. We were just focusing on nationals and we weren't focusing on the conference tournament, or, I know we won conference, but nationals is like our main focus, and I think we need to take each step as we go and then focus on nationals towards the end.
Latoya, have you kind of settled on what your top rotation of players is at this point?
I have an idea.
Okay.
I have an idea, and I mean, they've been competing daily for it, so I know they have an idea of a set lineup, but I'm very confident in my bench as well, that if a sub is needed, it won't weaken the lineup. We'll continue to be strong, so I'm excited about the all-around play of each player on the team. But
Could you kind of go through some of the individuals who we might see quite a bit of this season, maybe talk a little bit about each one specifically?
well, I would say Tanisha Doyle, returning sophomore who was on the freshman team and first team conference. She's improved her ball control front row, and her aggressive serves obviously gave us a lot of aces this past season, so she'll be on the court outside. Chelsea Shears, returning senior, great job as a libero. She's been extremely quick, very controlling, and just passionate, a lot of passion on the court, which helps the team get a flow, so she's awesome there. I will also say, Chelsea Strong has been our starting middle for the past 2 years. So she's been doing a great job there and improving on her blocking. So I expect her to get a lot of reps this year to get the team going on the offensive end. We have Keisha, again, coming back. She's coming back from a little bit of injury, I would say, to be honest. But she, I would say, has the heart, the true heart of a lion, and she just needs to watch the game and come in and get reps and get the job done. We have, Willow Margaret's right side. She is a game changer, I would say, and a very powerful player, can get the ball going. And I have Naomi. She's returning senior setter. It's her year right now to fill in what Nevana and the previous setter's done. So that's the idea. And obviously, Nurka, newcomer of the year, she's on the court. And so we also have, Reggie, who is our other middle hitter, but she's improved tremendously with her speed and her transition, where she's going to be a huge asset whatever position she plays. So that's kind of a general of an idea lineup,
Okay, great.
I would say.
Coach, you were saying earlier how tight-knit of a family you feel the team is. Can you all tell me about the chemistry you have?
Well, I would say starting off at the beginning of the year, we had double days, obviously, and they stayed in the dorm for a week. And it brought her back in the dorm after 3 years. And we did different activities where we did different skits in certain situations, open up to each other. Why are you here? Why are you playing volleyball? Who are you? Who are you besides just your name? And they did their own fun games on their own when I wasn't there. And they would just laugh and have fun. So they were roomed up with people they didn't know that well. And I think it opened up everyone to understand why you're here, where you're coming from, and hey, I'm fighting for you. I know why you're here now, rather than, okay, you're my teammate. It's more personal at that moment. And we had dinners at each other's houses. They cooked, for each other, and that responsibility was for them. So I think that helped them tremendously. But this team, obviously, has been the closest from the ones that I've seen from just the beginning so far.
I would say that's probably going to be a pretty big thing, because you're not going to be back in here for a long time. The schedule, you're on the road a lot before starting conference. Can you talk about who you're facing? You go to Southern California, the GSAC teams are always good. You've got Texas Brownsville, everybody kind of knows about them. Right. College of Idaho, in-state, but they've been good the last few years. Can you talk about the schedule a little bit and how that prepares you for the Frontier?
I think, the schedule is tough, and I wouldn't say that if I didn't believe this team could compete at it. And I think about when we went to Biola last year, we had 3 outside hitters that were ineligible. We had Nurka, Tranisha, and another previous player who was ineligible, so we didn't have our full lineup, and we did well against some of these teams. And so now we're coming deep roster and truly believe we can compete to get us back into that ranking, I would say, which is needed. I mean, we haven't been on it the past. At the end, we weren't in the top 25. So I believe this team can do that. And the Biola's great competitive team to prepare us to come back to Frontier, because I believe the Frontier Conference is improving tremendously all the way around. You know, Carroll went last year, and we have Tech, who improved tremendously. So we need to go out there and compete against some teams in order for us to be, I would say, respected as well, and to prepare for what our conference is going to bring this year, which will be a little more competitive than before. So I believe we can do well.
Well, since you've taken over, you've not shied away from that philosophy. I mean, your pre-conference schedule has always been tough, all 3 years, including this one. That's something you're going to do every year, I assume.
No,
No?
I would say. I will fill in a few here and there, but again, it depends on the team that I have. You know, because I want us to be successful, but then we obviously do have to learn from losses. But do we want to lose? We don't want to, but it'll happen. Hopefully not. But again, I set up a schedule of what I have coming in, and I believe this team can do well. And again, the Southern Oregon tournament is a great tournament, but a good opportunity as well to get reps against teams we won't see without going to Southern Oregon. So some of those teams we don't end up meeting until obviously nationals, if that happens.
So I guess when we should just look at the schedule, and that will tell us how confident you are in the kind of team you have, right?
Sure, yeah.
So
yeah.
this year, you must think that this is a club that could do some stuff this season.
Right, I believe so. And I mean, they're challenged every day, and we played Vanguard last year at the College of Idaho tournament. So some of these teams we've seen the past couple of years as well, and they've been great competition for us. So, you know, and then a Southern Oregon tournament, we haven't seen Menlo before, Northwest University, so that should be a great one. And I'm excited about the exhibition against Seattle Pacific. Will be a great opportunity to play different lineups and everyone before we get to Texas, where it wakes up even more. So utmost faith in this team. And don't get me wrong, if I schedule different doesn't mean I don't believe in the team. It's just this team needs to be challenging for us to get back to our goal of Frontier Conference and Frontier Conference tournament, winning that. You have to be challenged from the beginning, I believe.
Now, the fact that you don't play at home until the middle of next month, were there opportunities to schedule ones at home, and you decided you want to go to these other tournaments?
There was. Actually, the Southern Oregon tournament, we had 2 home matches that week, and then both of the teams opted out of it. So that changed tremendously, and Southern Oregon asked for us to come, and told them it was a little bit tough. You're already traveling. They offered to help out some things, so we got an ability to get more matches under the belt without, you know, having to come out of pocket too much. So that helped.
You know, and is it an issue at all for you guys? I mean, is it going to be a hardship to be on the road this much?
When I think about our conference season, we're on the road more than any other teams from Montana, so this is preparing them on what it would be like, especially the Southern Oregon one. We've always been to Biola, and the previous year before last, we went to Nebraska the second, September, the beginning of that month. So the Southern Oregon, again, was something added, but the schedule, how it is close as if we were going to Rocky, that's 10 hours away, and then maybe playing someone else. So they're getting a taste of what it'd be like in a conference without it affecting us too much. So,
Girls, have you guys been sort of mentally preparing to be gone all this time?
We are. She told us yesterday we're taking buses to Southern Oregon, so preparing ourselves. Yeah.
it should be good.
But Texas and California are planes, so that's different too than it's like 12-hour, 10-hour bus trips. So it's a little different, but I think since the schedule came out, everyone was just really excited about who we're playing, and over summer training, just like thinking of who we're going to play, like what you have to work for. So I think it's a really exciting schedule, and we're ready.
Already, and I would say the following year, I'm already working on a home tournament, so I have some people committing already. So I want to get that going here. It's just, I mean, all the other programs know it's hard to get people to come to Lewiston, you know, and financially. So I've had some people commit already. So look for that. I'm getting that confirmed early, so we don't have to do this. But we'll get good games in.
You probably Probably will be pretty exciting that September 13th to finally have
Oh,
a match
yeah.
here and start conference play to boot. That'll probably be kind of exciting.
It would. It's always fun to be home, and that's our parent weekend too, so a lot of families will be here for it, so.
In those exhibitions with the community colleges, Spokane and North Idaho College, did you, part of the reason to play those, is that just to get more home matches? I mean, was that part of the decision or not necessarily?
Combination of both, but also to try different lineups as well, and to get a lot of players reps. North Idaho College has always been good. We went to play them last year and they fought us tremendously, so they're a competitive team. And then also the community college of Spokane, it's Kelly Ticker coaches there. So it's great to bring her over here, and they're a solid team as well. So I think it'll be good to get some reps on that, and they're a competitive team, so they'll challenge us also. So we have to stay on our toes.
That can't hurt from a recruiting standpoint too, I would think.
No, I wouldn't. I'd like to see what they have. I got an NIC player this year, so there's one more I'm looking at. So she knows who she is. So I'm gonna grab her too.
How about in the conference, who do you expect to be the top rivals this year?
Always Carroll. Always. Mo does a great job with that team, and they're very solid all the way around. Very smooth, controlled team. So I expect them to come out, and they've had a great recruiting class this year, so I expect them to compete. And also Rocky. They had a young team last year, but they've always blocked very well and stay along the 6-foot height. But they recruited a great player from NIC, and I expect them to be a little more competitive this year. So Northern, always. Their defense has been tremendously amazing, especially last year. So I would say those three so far, but then again, there's more. Westminster has been competitive and beating teams just come out of the shell and just start taking games from people. So, it's up in the air. People are hungry. They are, and we got to stay on our toes, which helps us to stay focused in our practices, too.
Mm-hmm.
Chelsea and Naomi, we all hear Coach talking so much about flow, how you guys need to have flow in your offense and flow on the court. Tell me a little bit about what that means to you all as players, and what you're striving for when Coach is asking for more flow on the court.
I think that just really focuses on, the connection we all have, and it starts with the pass to the set to the hit. If someone gets you a good pass, you want to make that set perfect, and then the hitter focuses on getting that in and getting a kill. It's just, I think working together is what a flow is, and just that good feeling that you're all working for the same goal and purpose in the match, or in practice as well. That's where it starts.
I think working together is a big part, and lately we've been focusing a lot on blocking, and she's been teaching us swing blocking. You have to have a flow with each hitter, to go up at the same time and have the same timing, and it does start with the pass and the set and the connection with the hitters. So flow's been starting out good this year. Yeah.
But do you guys, the players amongst yourself, do you guys talk quite a bit about continuing the streak of conference titles? That's probably a big goal for you guys, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we like to just focus on each year, not talk too much about the past, but know that that's what the school has built, and we want to keep that going. But mainly focus day by day, not too much dwelling in the back or in the past or in the future, but now and what we need to do to get that. I would say.
And LaToya mentioned, I think, so you guys all live in the dorm, is that right?
We did. For team bonding, we lived there for a week.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. As you guys were training out. Okay.
Yeah.
All of it, okay. What was that like?
It was fun. We were roommates with girls. Well, I was with Darby Santos, and I didn't really know her. So it was a good time, and she's a setter, so it was good to get that connection, off the court before we stepped on the court. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Just the activities we did in opening up, it kind of felt like later in the season. It didn't feel like first day. It was the first week, and we were all opening up and sharing stories, and it didn't feel like we just started. It felt like we've already been a team, and that's really important, I think.
Yeah.